Okay. Invisible airwaves crackle with life. Bright antenna bristle with the energy. Emotional feedback. Our time is wavelength. Bearing a gift beyond price. Almost free. All this machinery making modern music can still be open hearted. Not so foolish, how it is really just a question of your honesty. Yeah, your honesty. One likes to believe in the freedom of music. The glittering prizes and endless compromises shadow the illusion of integrity. Yeah. Boom, doom, 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 doom. Okay, well, we got we got one person in here. No, we got nobody in here. God damn it. Going crazy. Okay. God fucking damn it. Hello? One likes to believe in the freedom of music. The glittering prizes and endless compromises shadow the illusion of integrity. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Hello, sir. Yeezy 2024. Cello. Yo-yo ma. Yo-yo ma. Uh, my my baby want milk. Welcome. I've been doing these on Sundays and then I forgot. I've been like, I don't know, not sick, but just dealing with like this extreme fatigue. Yeah, Yoko Ono. Speaking of, I watched that Peter Jackson music video for that, like, and listened to the new Beatles song. That shit sucks shit. I don't know why people are enjoying that. I was like listening to, like, watching this video and listening to this new Beatles song, and I'm like, this really fucking blows. Um, and I guess really for no other reason than the fact that two of the people involved are fucking dead. So it's no, the Beatles. I don't think the Beatles are trash. Don't say that. Don't say that. I think that song in particular, like here's the thing that gets me with that song, and like the way people are like falling in love with it is it's utilizing all of the things that everyone has been like afraid of with AI. Like all these arguments that people have been having about like what are the implications of AI and what can it be used for. Well, I mean, fucking Peter Jackson and the Beatles are doing it with that music video. It's like they dug up two guys' corpses digitally to put them in that fucking video, and then like ripped the, all this like audio recording of those two guys to make this song. So like effectively, it's proving that these arguments that people have had about like what is AI going to replace, and can AI ever potentially replicate the like human creativity? It's like maybe not yet, but it's definitely being utilized in a way to be creative, to like replicate fucking dead guys because they're not around to work on the song. So it's really bizarre to me that all of the like people who were opponents of this technology, the second that it's like jingling keys in front of their face, they're like, this is actually beautiful that they did this. I'm like, you think this is beautiful? This like weird fucking like uncanny valley thing that's going on in this video where it's like 20-year-old John Lennon and 20-year-old George Harrison dancing with these guys. It's really strange to me that I guess that's the way things were always going to go, was that people were going to be scared of this shit until they start using it to make things people like, and then everybody goes, oh, actually no, AI is kind of nice. And maybe that'll be the benefit of AI is it'll effectively just like do away with celebrity culture when there's like no need for actual fucking celebrities to do anything. When everything can be done by a computer, we can finally just get rid of this like hero worship that people have for celebrities. I saw that on Twitter today, or rather X as it's now called. Somebody was saying that like it's bad or it's not normal, the hate that this new Snow White is getting, this Rachel Zegler girl. And it's like, I mean, maybe it's not normal, but this is absolutely how everyone has always felt about celebrities. I mean, the fucking Manson family killed Sharon Tate because she was rich and famous. That was the message they were sending, was like, we're gonna fucking come in here and fuck shit up in like protest of the bourgeoisie and the man. So it's like people have always felt that way. People have always harbored some amount of resentment towards celebrities, which they honestly should. I don't like if you're watching someone live a lavish life that is just completely unattainable for you, and getting to do all the fun things and like really just wring out every good thing in life that you'll never get to experience, and they're being paid to do so. I think it's perfectly acceptable to hate them for that while still appreciating their work. Not that I think this Snow White movie is going to be any good, but I mean, with any of these fucking people, you know, I guess the real issue along with that is like we just really shouldn't know much about their personal lives, like all that this like celebrity culture and the lives of these people have like creeped into our lives so much that now we just have a total view behind the curtain of what's going on with these people. Because I mean, it used to be like everything was at such an arm's length, like it was so just behind the velvet rope what these people were doing and up to, and what their like inner lives looked like. And now we just get updates constantly of what's going on with these people in their lives. I mean, we're constantly being shown just up to the second updates of the intimacy shared between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and I'm like, why? Like that's these people's like private business, and I mean, maybe it's good for marketing for them that this is getting out there, but it's like, I think it's like psychically unhealthy to develop these sorts of parasocial relationships with these fucking people, because it's like we all have to live like normal fucking dumbass bullshit lives, and what these people do should just be like entertainment meant to be consumed. Well, I don't know, like we shouldn't be fucking invested in their personal lives at all, and that goes like that goes for fucking podcasters too. I see so many people who are so like deeply connected and invested with what's going on with like their favorite podcasters, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you're really fucking scraping the bottom of the barrel here with this one. Like these aren't even like actual celebrities. These are just fucking podcasters. And I guess it's like the nature of the medium that you hear these, hours and hours of these like really personal conversations between these people. But maybe don't well, I mean, listen to my show for sure. Mine's great, but people need to fucking take a break from listening to this shit. Go read a book or watch a movie or do your laundry or something. But damn, it's definitely a symptom of the times. Everybody's lonely and disconnected from everyone, and getting more and more isolated due to like technology and this sort of like rapid advancement of like communication technologies, and this just allowing people to sort of sequester themselves, because they why would you ever actually go anywhere and hang out with people when everything you've ever wanted is just on a screen at your fingertips? And I guess everything you've ever wanted is to listen to different dipshit comedians talk about what they did that week. Talk about doing cool things that you don't even get to do. Not my show. My show is coming from a true place of desperation. That's why it's so good. I'm fighting for my life podcasting. Because it ain't cheap. It ain't easy. Going into a fucking coma. Um, and what does it say? Elon Musk should make a Hitler AI bot. Sure. I mean, why not? Yeah, AI is cool. I mean, it's not really I mean, AI is kind of a misnomer. Right now, all that exists are large language models. So it's just programs that can access just whatever's on the internet to create stuff based on like prompts and inputs. There's no real AI happening. It's just another algorithm, I think. But I am not a computer whiz. I barely know how anything works. It might as well be magic. Like everything might as well be magic. Elevators, escalators, trains. But that's probably always been the case. I think like all throughout history, most of the population just doesn't have any real understanding of how any like in medieval times. I don't think many people knew how a portcullis operated. So that's all. I guess that's always been the case. That's I guess that's that meme, right? Or no, it was Nate Bargatze had that joke where he's like, if I went back in time and tried to tell people about cell phones, and they were like, "Well, how do they work?" He'd be like, actually, I don't know." So, I guess that is the unfortunate. That's what's unfortunate, I guess. I've always wondered about that. Like there's all these people who are positioning themselves as like intellectuals and thought leaders nowadays, like Jordan B. Peterson. And I wonder if he actually knows how to actually fucking do anything. You know what I mean? Like he definitely knows how to talk. He did. I mean, he's too verbose, to be honest with you. It's like, it's like Jesus Christ, dude. We get it. You read the thesaurus. You have the fucking thesaurus on hand. But just because you're using a bunch of silver dollar words doesn't mean what you're saying aren't just a bunch of like banal platitudes and like just using vocabulary to trick people into thinking you're smarter than you really are. But I guess that's the job of an intellectual, because I don't think like anybody who is like a professional intellectual has any real world knowledge of how anything actually fucking works. You know what I mean? Like, do you think, for the 6 people that are in here, do you think somebody like Jordan B. Peterson or Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder or any of these guys could replace the wax ring on a toilet? You think if the wax ring busted on their toilet, you think they'd be able to go to the Home Depot, buy a new one, take it home, and actually replace the wax ring on a toilet? I know I couldn't, and I doubt that they could. I doubt that they could do simple, basic plumbing, like just replacing the wax ring on a toilet. And maybe most people don't know how to do that. I feel like I should know. I should know how to do something, and I don't know how to do anything. I can change a spare tire. I think I can do that. I think I can put a jack under a car and jack it up and pop the lug nuts off of it and put a donut on a car. That might be it. I did used to go with my dad to it was like a self-service like auto shop or something, like on the I remember because he was in the Air Force Reserves at the time, and so we were able to we were living in the Fort Worth area, and so we were able to get into the Carswell. It was like the Naval Air Service Joint Reserve Base, Carswell in Fort Worth. and they had a self-service auto shop there. So we would take the car there and put it up on the the hydraulic thing and lift it up and change oil ourselves. It was like $6 to change your own oil. And I do remember doing that with him and absolutely burning the shit out of myself trying to change oil, trying to change the oil in the car. Just spilling oil all over my arms and being like, damn, this sucks. Why is the mechanic not doing this? But I don't think I could do that now. That base also had a bowling alley where you could I think you could bowl a game for like $5 at the Naval Air Joint Reserve Base, Carswell in Fort Worth. Go shopping at the BX, get a little tax-free groceries. Go see a movie for $1. I think that was where I went and saw the Clone Wars when it came out. the first Star Wars Clone Wars movie, where something wasn't it like they had to something to do with like Baby Jabba the Hutt or something. Like they had to like transport Baby Jabba or save Baby Jabba from something. It's weird. The Clone Wars movie and series is odd because it really more than the prequel movies, the movie and the series, the Clone Wars, really expects you to invest and empathize with characters who become like absolute scumbag villains, like truly either empirically evil or just like low life like criminal scumbags. Like you're expected to like however many seasons that show was on, you're just following Anakin, and he's the hero of the show, and it's like, well, I mean, you're asking a lot from an audience of people who understand that this guy's going to become like the most evil dude in the galaxy. And I guess that's the same with the movie where it's like, oh, Baby Jabba looks cute. Yeah, well, I mean, Baby Jabba was a fucking slave trader. It becomes one, as we all see in Return of the Jedi. And so I got maybe they're I never really watched the Clone Wars TV show. I don't look, I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a shit about Star Wars. I think it's the first three movies are fun. The prequels have some interesting ideas with regard to politics and diplomacy. And then after that, we are off the fucking rails with that entire franchise. And what it is now is really embarrassing to look at. And they kind of had a chance with I think it was the Last Jedi. I like that director a lot. I think the guy that directed that was Ryan Johnson, and he made that movie, that neo noir movie Brick, and the movie Looper. Remember Looper with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis, who I guess is gonna die soon. Like I think like Bruce Willis might be dead soon. I saw something where like Demi Moore or like somebody posted like this picture with him recently, and it was like this heartbreak. I don't know why they shared this, but it was like this heartbreaking caption that said like, here's Bruce, he's smiling. Also, he has lost the ability to speak completely. And I'm like, yo, we do not need to know this. This sucks. I don't like looking at this. You're just looking at fucking Jack Nicholson at the end of Cuckoo's Nest, basically. But it's Bruce Willis in real life. But anyway, so Ryan Johnson made Looper, and then he did The Last Jedi. And that was a fun movie. I enjoyed that one. And I thought it was like setting up a world in which we might be able to move away from Skywalker stuff, maybe. And then they gave it back to J.J. Abrams for the last one, and what a fucking turd that was. And God, I wish it would have been the death knell of that franchise, but they just keep fucking making Star Wars shit, and it sucks shit. It sucks because they want to fucking like hold on to this like all this like Jedi Sith Skywalker shit and Order 66 or whatever, and it's like, yo, fucking get away from this. Go fucking do that. Was why that first season of The Mandalorian was fun, because it was like, oh, finally, like just something else. Like something else is happening, and then inevitably it's like, oh no, now it sucks. That's why I think the best thing they ever did outside of like the movies is the that video game from when I was a kid, Knights of the Old Republic. It's like, okay, 4,000 years before the movies. How about that? It's like, okay, I'm listening. What are we doing here? And that was a fun one. Yeah, but Star Wars sucks shit. I like Star Trek better anyway. I think Star Trek is definitely more philosophical and has better like storytelling and more interesting ideas. And doesn't rely on like the fantasy elements. It's more in line with like actual sci-fi. That's the thing, is like Star Wars is just space fantasy. Star Trek, science fiction. Okay, Star Trek is like, what is Data? Is Data alive? Is Data conscious? Let's put him on fucking trial just for existing. We're gonna put Data on trial just for being a thing that exists, to see if he's actually alive, or if the Federation can tear him apart, scrap him for parts, and study him. One of my favorite episodes of The Next Generation was the trial of Data. Welcome back. Lambda says welcome back. Yeah, it's been a long road. It's been tough. Lost everything. No, I ain't got 2 pennies to rub together. No pennies, no halfpenny, nothing. I'm here. I'm actually in the lobby of the Days Inn because they let me use the guest Wi-Fi here, as long as I don't cause no trouble. Sweep the floors, maybe might help out a little bit. New Marvel movie. Don't need a rant about it. I mean, my opinion's the same as like what a lot of people have said online. Is they probably should have just stopped at Endgame. I mean, the title itself. This is the end of it. This is the end game. This is the last what we're doing. But now they're doing what the comic books have done, which is completely overextend themselves and just beat this dead horse into the ground. And so the moviegoers are realizing what the comic book readers realized a long time ago, which is they should stop making this. I think anyone who actually likes the medium of comic books, and I mean like truly appreciates it in the way that like Alan Moore talks about comic books, like any adult that cracks open a fucking like modern Spider-Man book, their reaction should be they absolutely should have stopped making this shit like 30 years ago. They should have just stopped doing this. But no, they won't stop doing it. And the thing is with like comic books, it's such a low overhead, like to the cost of like writing and drawing and producing a comic book is such a small infinitesimal fraction compared to the cost of just any Marvel movie. Like each one of those movies costs like the same as a fucking like small nation's GDP, so like it's going to be awesome to see what happens as this continues to implode on Disney. And yeah, I mean that Marvel's movie just looks stupid. Because I don't know like how those how those 3 ladies are even like related in any way. What is their relationship with each other, or like what do they have in common that's like the spurring on the whatever the plot of that movie is. And who gives a shit about, also, who gives a shit about Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel and whoever that black lady is? Those were already like C, D tier fucking superheroes, even in the comic books. It's like Captain Marvel's one of those characters that everybody always says is like, oh, she's more powerful than blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, well, she has no fucking like actual appeal with anybody. Like nobody gives a shit about this character on any like scale. It's like comic book fans might care, but I think like for most people, they're just gonna hear the name Captain Marvel and go, wait, why the name? She's named after the fucking publisher itself. Like that's really stupid. So yeah, this movie's gonna suck shit, and multiverse stuff sucks anyway. The only good multiverse story was Sliders with Jerry O'Connell and the guy who played Gimli from Lord of the Rings, and I think Will Sasso was in a bunch of episodes as well. Sliders was awesome. That's the only time they did it right with the multiverse stuff. And then with the Marvel stuff, it's just a cheap gimmick to extend the life of a dying franchise. It's essentially they're putting the entire franchise in a big iron lung that is the multiverse, and just forcing it to keep its heart beating against its will and the will of the movie going taxpayer. So I'll probably go see it. I like this new season of I've been watching this new season of Loki, and it really is like it's pretty jarring how it's like a quality show that is absolutely being fucking hamstrung by the fact that it's connected to so much bullshit. Like the fact that this whatever this like cool story could have been has to tie into like whatever this like Kang the Conqueror secret war shit they're trying to pull off. That's absolutely what is holding this show back. Because it's like, it's a fun ass show. I'm always happy to see Owen Wilson in anything, and we got fucking Data from the Goonies continuing his comeback in the show, and it's fun. But then like all this, the fact that they gotta like tie this into this like larger MCU shit, just damn, that sucks. There's no self that was that was always the problem with the comic books is like the books themselves stopped being self-contained. So like every fucking comic book you would buy was always like somehow connected to something else that was going on. Especially when they started doing like 2 or 3 like big crossover events a year, it would just be like you'd be reading Spider-Man or whatever, and then just all of a sudden there's like 6 issues that are now require you to go buy like some other thing to even fucking understand what's going on. So like that, comic books are like completely inaccessible in that regard, and like at least those superhero books. And that's why if you're going to be a fucking like one of these dork adults that reads comic books, go get the adult shit. I guess go get like the independent fucking like Alan Moore type stuff about Jack from Hell, V for Vendetta, Watchmen. He did write some cool superhero stories. Like I've got some like collection of his where he wrote. He has some pretty good Superman stuff that he did. He's got a cool his whole run on Swamp Thing. Obviously, he created the character Constantine. Who shows up in Swamp Thing for the first time. So yeah, Alan Moore is cool, and I like it when there's like real guys in real life who are wizards who do magic. Anyway, who dies first, Michael J. Fox or Magic Johnson? The battle of the fakers. I don't think Michael J. Fox is faking it. If he is, we have to commend him on a incredible performance all these years. No, I definitely think Michael J. Fox is going to go first. I think it's equal parts. His body is in total decay at this point, and also he probably would like to not have to deal with this shit anymore. as much as being alive is good, being alive and having to deal with like a degenerative disease like that getting worse and worse each day, that sounds like it fucking sucks. Um, yeah, that was brutal. I watched that interview he did with it was like Good Morning America. I think it was like him and Diane Sawyer, and he was telling her like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to see 80. And it's like, I mean, most of us aren't. Like, to be honest with you, Mr. Fox, Mr. J Fox, most of us are not going to see 80. That's a long life if anyone makes it to 80. But he's definitely, it's amazing what you can live through when you have millions and millions of dollars, because I think anybody else would be fucking dead by now that was dealing with Parkinson's that bad. um that was probably what kept that's what keeps anyone alive when they get, any of these big celebrities who gets like a big disease like this. It's like, well, they have the money to fund like research itself and treatment. So like like Christina Applegate might actually somehow cure multiple sclerosis just because a famous person got the disease. That's like the like what sucks to think about. Like what's really kind of disconcerting is a lot of what drives research for a lot of like ailments is just if a beloved celebrity happens to get it, because then they possess like the wealth and resources to just like funnel money into actually researching this and trying to figure out the treatment for it. And so that's, I mean, that's like, honestly, like if you want to cure, like here's the solution for curing cancer is give Leonardo DiCaprio like brain cancer, like hit him with a direct energy weapon and give him like some sort of like brain tumor, and then brain cancer will be cured in like a week. We'll have it fucking figured out quick because somebody who matters actually got it. You know what I mean? Because I like that. Damn, that's what a bummer to think about. That like just millions and millions of people every day are dealing with like some crazy illness or ailment, cancer, fucking Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or like whatever, and nobody gives a shit. There's no money going into research. They can't get the fucking treatment they need. Nobody cares. Nobody's helping them. But then if like anyone, like if a celebrity happens to come down with some sort of illness, all of a sudden there's like a foundation in their name, and there's like a just like airplane hangars filled with scientists working around the clock to figure out how to treat this thing. And it's just because somebody who plays pretend for a living, got the disease. What an awful, awful system that we live in. That the only hope anyone really has for receiving the treatment they need is if, like Timothy Chalamet gets pancreatic cancer, then finally we can find a cure for it. They can't give two cast members of Growing Pains diseases. Oh yeah, I guess Leo was in Growing Pains. I don't know. That's before my time. I don't tell anyone how old I am, but that is before my time. My first introduction to Leo was, it was probably Titanic. I don't know. I'm trying to remember when I actually started giving a shit about Leo. Probably The Departed. It's probably The Departed when I actually finally got on board with DiCaprio, because I never cared about Titanic. I always thought it was just fucking boring. I just like even now, like as someone at an age who could actually like appreciate that movie, because it's not a movie for children, but even if I tried to watch that now, I would just be like, this is really fucking boring. I don't care about this boat. I don't care about the people on it. Good. I mean, I hope they fucking die. Who cares? This shit sucks. And And it's like, why is it on 2 VHS tapes? Why I got to get 2 VHS tapes from the library? The library. It was. I mean, okay. Well, that is a fair point. For a lot of people, it was for a lot of people of a certain generation. It was the first time they got to see movie titties. With Kate Winslet's movie titties. So there is that. If you got the timestamp for that, that is worth checking out. But other than that, what a boring fucking movie. I mean, James Cameron's good at making spectacle for sure, but I kind of like the. I don't know if I like necessarily agree with this, but I thought it was like a cool point that somebody made. Like years ago, I read this essay by it was by David Foster Wallace, and it was about Terminator 2, and he wrote in this essay that he didn't really like Terminator 2. His claim was that it was like overproduced and relied too heavily on special effects and CGI, and there was like almost like too much money behind it, and it kind of ruined what gave the first movie charm. And I do kind of like the point he makes, which was that when James Cameron was making the first Terminator, like nobody knew who James Cameron was. He was like a relatively new director. And apparently a lot of that movie was shot like guerrilla style. They had like black cinematographers. No, that's not what that means. No, he didn't have like a lot of permits or anything to like go around Los Angeles and shoot a lot of what you see in that movie. So he was just straight up like in the spirit of 70s Hollywood, just breaking the law to make that movie. And so apparently a lot of what you see in the first Terminator is James Cameron and Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton just like straight up breaking the law to get those shots because they just didn't have like the money or the permits to do a lot of that. And so it gave it this like gritty, raw feeling. Whereas, by the time T2 gets greenlit, they're just throwing as much money as possible at this movie to get it made. And and so DFW in this essay claims that that's the reason Terminator 2 sucks, is it's actually too much money, too much CG, too many special effects. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I see where he's coming from in regard to like the grittiness of the first one versus the sort of like sleek sheen over the second one. But T2 fucking rocks. There's no denying T2 is a biblical epic compared to Terminator 1. So it's just a fun. I always liked reading his essays. I think I read all of his essay collections. What were they? A Supposedly Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again, Consider the Lobster, Both Flesh and Not, which was his last I think that was published after he died, maybe. And that's his last collection. And then the title essay in that, Both Flesh and Not, is about Roger Federer, who was like really blown up at the time. I guess David Foster Wallace was a big tennis guy. It's interesting how when someone's like really interested in something that maybe you don't even give a shit about, if they have like a real passion for it and can write about it or speak on it in a way that like exudes their own interest and passion, it kind of makes you interested in it. Because I remember reading, I never gave still don't really give a fucking shit about tennis. But I remember reading his essay about Roger Federer and being like, damn, dude, should I like start watching tennis? This is really good. But then I actually did try to watch tennis, and I was like, no, this fucking sucks. Give me Mario Tennis any day over this. Give me fucking Waluigi hitting backhand serves, or however you play tennis. The Beach with DiCaprio. I don't know if I've seen that. What is that about? Is that about going to the beach? What's a good beach? When I make $1 billion podcasting, what beach should I live on? Myrtle Beach, Panama City Beach. Damn, I love the South. I gotta be honest with you guys. The North is all right. It's kind of fun, but god damn, the South fucking rocks. I love the culture of the South. Just shotgun and natty lights, wearing MAGA hats, going boogie boarding at Myrtle Beach, having a good ass time. Um, and I don't know. I guess it's also because it's where I grew up. But I mean, I have a complicated relationship with it because it's like everybody in my fucking family's so goddamn miserable. At least on my dad's side. On my mom's side, is like everybody's definitely poor, but um, they still like knew how to have fun. Uh, I mean, a lot of some people in and out of jail and committing pretty heinous crimes, but definitely knew how to have fun. My dad's side, just absolute fucking miserable, cantankerous people. And like a lot of them are, a lot of them are dead now. Everyone is nicer here in the South. I don't know about that. To be honest, like honestly, a lot of like the pleasantries you experience in the South is like this weird facade. Because like you think of New York as like this like rude, fast paced kind of place, and I mean it definitely has this like constant buzz of anxiety and like go 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 mentality. But I mean, there was never there's such a like a community effort just constantly in that city. Like if they're like going like just any subway station, if there's a lady who has got like a baby in a stroller and there's no elevator, so she's got to figure out how to get this fucking stroller down the stairs. There's always somebody willing to help her carry her baby down into the subway, and they're not trying to take the baby. They're just doing it from the goodness of their heart. So there's definitely like a lot of community in New York, and I mean, people can be rude or whatever. Like they can be like rough and tough New Yorkers, but there's like this definitely this feeling of like we're all in this together. Whereas like down south, everyone is like quote supposedly nicer, but a lot of it feels put on. A lot of it feels like you'll encounter. I mean, the go-to examples like the people that say stuff like, bless your heart or whatever. Like, there's definitely this sort of like just put upon nicety in the South, and also a lot more like individualism and isolation. The thing about like up north, especially in New York, it's just everybody together. So there's not a lot of like the only real distinctions between like the rich and the poor is maybe like what they're wearing or just like the actual amount of money each one has. But they're both on the fucking subway together. They both have to walk the same streets and navigate this city together. Whereas like down south, like you could if you're wealthy enough, you can completely isolate yourself from the lesser thans. And then like I've encountered plenty of like southern rich people, and they are always fucking pricks. I'll take a northern rich person over a southern rich person any day because southern rich people absolutely fucking blow. But poor southern people, very nice, very fun people. They'll offer you a beer. They'll give you a hit of weed. They'll give you break you off a pinch of snuff. It's the rich southern people that are stingy and fucking mean. Um, the oil barons of the South, the which is what I'm the Daniel Plainview of podcasting, obviously. Uh, yeah. Oh, you're from the South and rich. Are you? What kind of rich are you? If you know what I mean. Did my mouse stop working? The fuck? The fucking goddamn. Oh, where'd the fucking battery fell out of my mouse? All right. Yeah. What kind of rich are you? If you know what I'm talking about. Um, you know what I mean. Did anybody? Well, we put up a new episode of the podcast today, and it's the views are coming in. The TikTok is blowing up. Let's see. I guess so. God damn it. Yeah, I don't know. TikTok is fucking weird. Like I can't understand how that, like, there's so many people on that app that are either like doing basically pornography or like calling for genocide or like whatever they're doing, and then like I say the word titties and my shit gets like fucking struck down. Um, so like it's such a bizarre app, and it definitely is due to, probably mostly due to the fact that I don't have like a big following on there. So I'm just a little guy, because like they're the accounts on there with like, hundreds of thousands of followers or a million or whatever. Um, then like those accounts just get away with like whatever the fuck they want to do. Like that school shooter guy, like it's crazy. And then me, I gotta like be careful and use like weird language to dance around saying the word titties. And yes, thank you, tons more cowbell. It's, yeah, like I said, I made this point on Twitter. The TikTok rack reactions are kind of my version of slipping on the toilet and dreaming of the flux capacitor. It was just this beautiful light bulb moment that I had. Um, Honestly, like just scrolling through that app and seeing the amount of like thirst traps that exist on there, like the amount of TikTok ladies who are either trying to funnel people to their OnlyFans or just develop a big following to get paid on TikTok. It was just like crazy how much of that stuff exists, uh, and like I never see anyone like really commenting on it. Like you go into the comment sections on all those like titty lady, big titty popping their asses ladies, and it's just a lot of support or whatever. But nobody's like, I never. I feel like I'm going crazy because I'm like, is anybody going to talk about how like kind of fucking weird this? Like this is kind of odd that there's like this app that anybody of any age can access that's like algorithm based. So like these people have like these huge followings that like presumably are reaching like everyone of all ages, and it's like really odd what they're doing on here. Um, so I just thought it would be funny to yeah, I just had that great light bulb moment where I was like, what if I start just doing like honest, in-depth reactions to their tits? And not in like a super horny way. That's the trick. Is like definitely a sousance of horniness is involved, but I don't want to be too horny. You know what I mean? I want to approach it as objective as possible, and so that's sort of the at the heart of TikTok rack reactions. And yeah, I hope you're right about that. I think there might be an untapped audience. Like who is out there? Like we've seen people reacting to music, reacting to movies, reacting to whatever's out there, and but who's out there reacting to boobies, to titties, mammaries? Yes, thank you for noticing that. Thank you for calling that out. That is sort of like I am trying to approach it like I'm reviewing an art piece, like like I'm the fucking Anthony Fantano of titties. The fucking yeah, the like an art critic going to the damn Guggenheim to look at I'm looking at Guggenheim. You know what I'm saying? Some Goo Goo Gagas, some Goo Goo Gaga Heims. Yeah, it's fun. I guess I definitely, yeah, it'll be fun to see what happens. I got to figure something out. So I figure if I could springboard off the tits of other creators on that app and develop a following for myself, maybe create an all new form of art and criticism in doing so. I'll tell you what, the one like I was trying to be like as respectful as possible. We'll get real here. I was trying to be like as respectful as possible with that one I posted about that lady, Psyche's Wings, who's got the big fucking giant tits because she's got that titty disease, that macromastia, and she's got, okay, so like this bitch has like 900,000 followers on TikTok, and almost every single fucking one of her posts is just showing off these giant fucking jugs in some way. And so it's like that, and then there'll also be like all these posts about like how bothered she is by the attention she's getting from like weird guys on the internet and the comment sections and all this. And I'm like, yo, lady, are you as fucking retarded as your tits are? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? And this isn't like a victim blaming thing. It's like you are absolutely showing these off to 900,000 people and then acting like surprised or upset that there's going to be like some fucking weirdos in the comments who want to like jerk off to your tits. That, I mean, that's like absolutely fucking insane to me to expect. Like the level of civility she's asking for is absolutely fucking unreasonable when like considering what she's actually posting on there. It's like I get it if you're just wearing like big like triple XL hoodies and wrapping yourself in a fucking wool quilt or whatever, but you're like showing off these giant fucking like triple G tits and like and then like have the fucking gall, the audacity to get upset that there's dudes in the comments who are like letting you know that they're jerking off to your tits. It's like, yeah, out of 900 fucking thousand people that are following you, there's going to be some guys, myself included, that are trying to pop one off to these bad boys. I mean, that's like such just bizarre behavior from somebody, because like the thing with her is I don't know what her deal is. Like I've met women like that before who have like rockin' bods and show them off in that way, but then get like skittish when they get the attention that they were like I thought they were looking for. Like that's crazy to me. But what I like about actual whores, like that one lady that I commented on, that Quinfinite, she knows what's up. She's like, because she's actually doing porn and like posting this shit for people to pop off to. She's like everything, every like weird, dumb, gross thing that guys are saying to her. So like she just uses it to get more fucking subscribers and more people paying attention to her. And it's like, yeah, I mean, go for it. But it's like if you're some like hot big titty bitch who wants to be like a professional League of Legends player, or like whatever the fuck this one lady's doing, and you don't want people like busting to you or being like weird to you on the internet, then fucking cover this shit up. Like cover up your big dumb juicy tits and stop showcasing them to everybody. Like if you want like that's the thing that especially with social media, especially with shit like TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and all that, it's like this is absolutely fucking on you. If anyone sees your body on these sites, you absolutely do not have to share this with anyone. If it's like making you feel weird that you're posting like pictures of you in a fucking like skimpy outfit and like the attention you're getting for it, then stop fucking doing it. Like that's the thing is like you're posting it for the purpose of getting like attention on the internet. It's not like you're just like walking out and about and getting catcalled, which was always bullshit. That was always bullshit anyway, because like all those fucking women that complained about getting catcalled, you notice what they never mentioned? It's the only people that were ever doing that were like blacks and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. They never fucking actually mentioned the fact that like the oft vilified and demonized white guy absolutely was never fucking doing that shit. So that whole catcalling bullshit that was going on for years, like that was like absolute manipulation on their part for claiming that every guy does that, when it's like, no, it's a minority group, and two, they're good at it. Okay, it actually fucking works for them. You're not the target audience. They're catcalling everyone trying to break a piece off, and you just happen to be in the crosshairs. But you're not a Puerto Rican with hoop earrings, so you're not even the fucking target audience. Okay, because if you're a dumpy Puerto Rican with hoop earrings and a fat ass, that is absolutely going to work on you. But if you're some like rich privileged white lady walking around in like Balenciaga or whatever. It's like, no, of course that's not going to work. You're not some like Puerto Rican construction worker is not going to woo you with his cat calls, but it's not for you. You're just target practice for the real prize, which is a single, a Dominican single mother. Okay. um Only white guy I've ever seen catcall is Alex Stein to AOC. Haha. I don't know anything about that. I don't. Who the fuck is that guy? Like, I've been seeing him lately, and I have no fucking clue who that guy is. I thought he was like maybe a football player who pivoted into like conservative grifting, but then somebody was telling me he did comedy. I have no clue who this guy is. I just saw some video he made where he was like harassing a lady at Taco Bell, and it really pissed me off. I just was like, I don't like this. I don't like this shit that people do where they try to involve just like regular people in their like fucking weird content shit. It's like, go ahead and like make whatever dumb shit you want to make to get paid on the internet, but like don't fucking try and drag other people into this. These like unwitting, like unwilling participants in your content empire. Because I mean, imagine just being a lady trying to get a couple of gorditas, a couple of chalupa supremes at Taco Bell, and all of a sudden, like millions of people see you on the internet getting harassed by Alex Stein. It's like, whether people are on your side or not, it's like, well, I didn't like ask to be seen by this many people. Like, this thing you're doing is fucking weird. Yeah, somebody told me he was a Dallas guy. I don't know if I ever knew him. I have no fucking clue who he is. Oh, he played football at Highland Park. Oh, so he's a rich kid. Okay, so he's wealthy, because that's like one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in Dallas is Highland Park. It's like Highland Park, and then that suburb, South Lake. Like those are like the really rich parts of that area. He used to do a conspiracy flat Earth podcast. Oh God, nobody knows how to do conspiracies anymore. Nobody even understands the art of conspiracy. Okay, like everybody who wants to get into that needs to fucking go back and like really listen to probably every single hour of Art Bell that's available to fully grasp the art of talking about conspiracies. Because like nobody, it's too. I mean, the thing is like with conspiracy stuff, it's too mainstream now, and there's too many people who actually take that shit seriously. Conspiracies are supposed to be just a fun thing that you kind of get into, and maybe every now and then there are a few that you might believe in. But when you got like so many people buying into like so many different conspiracies, it kind of takes the fun out of it, because it's like, well, I don't want to like encourage this. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, it's fun to think that maybe there's something weird going on in Antarctica or whatever, but I don't want like anybody who's like really spending too much time on that. I don't want to encourage that. Go read a real book. Stop buying like weird conspiracy books and go read like the Brothers Karamazov or something. Yeah. Yeah, I need to get in conspiracy. They're all real. Yeah. Tons more Cowbell says I've been a conspiracy guy since 2008, before these new flat Earth and Q people even knew 9/11 was a you know what. Well, that was the thing, is like the 9/11 conspiracy theory was like so on the like outside. It was like such a joke if anyone actually talked about that kind of shit. And that's definitely one that people have come around to in recent years, that something fishy happened. But that was, but you gotta think, when 9/11 happened, that was like at the height of the sort of like the U.S. propaganda machine. Like, we didn't have social media. We didn't have like a lot of information channels. So like everything we were getting was being like filtered through either network news or cable news, or these like approved channels and so we were definitely being like propagandized at that time, and whatever story was told was what was to be believed. Um, and now there's like so many avenues of information, and yeah, now nobody even trusts all that shit. Everybody gets their fucking news from I don't know, Blaze, the Glenn Beck news site. um people in power believe in Satan, Lucifer, so that must mean God is real. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Depends on how your interpretation of Satan and God. Because like the way Milton writes Lucifer is in Paradise Lost, is he's more of a sympathetic figure. Uh, the divine falling from grace, and plummeting into the abyss. Merely Lucifer in that story is sort of a like representation of man's own flaws, I suppose, whereas like God represents this unattainable ethereal divinity that's so far beyond us, it's not even worth considering, because we can never achieve that level of holiness, I guess, or grace. I don't know. I definitely like the stories where Lucifer's just a cool guy who gets pussy, like that TV show Lucifer, or I don't know, Angel Heart. Nope, I'm thinking of Devil's Advocate. Angel Heart was the thriller with De Niro and Mickey Rourke. Anyway, yeah, he invented music and he's gay. Yeah, Satan might be gay, I guess. Yeah, yeah. I guess that makes sense. Like if homosexuality is a sin, then the biggest queer would be Satan. What happened with the word queer? A lot of people started using that, and it just made it really annoying. Used to be a fun thing, a fun word to whip out every now and then like all my dumbass you know, my dumbass friends who were into that kind of shit. The women who in their 30s realized they're bisexual when it was like trendy to do so, and it was like, oh, I guess I'm also this. Me too. I'm also this. They're like, yeah, I'm part of being the queer culture. I had this like really dumbass friend, this fucking lady who, claimed to be bisexual. I think she was just mentally ill. Um, that's not to say she didn't like fuck women or whatever, dudes and women. I think she was like a nymphomaniac who had like severe mental illness. But I remember like one time she was like saying some dumb shit to me, like, I feel like I'm such a bad queer because I'm only dating like dudes or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, hey, I hate to break it to you, but hey, maybe you're not fucking gay. Maybe you're not queer at all. Maybe you're just straight and love cock, like God intended a woman to be. Sorry that you don't get to be as oppressed as you wanted to be. Um, maybe you are just straight. And yeah, I was right, because now she's engaged to a man. And then they always do that. They always like, well, just because I'm like married to a man doesn't mean I'm like not bisexual or whatever. And it's like, oh, really? So do you have plans to like do that still? Like you're gonna go out and like suck and fuck and do the whole like weird bisexual thing while you're married to this dude? Is like figure it out. Fucking plant your feet in the ground and figure out what you are. It's like of all the orientations, I find bisexual to be the most contemptible, because it's like, just pick a lane, pick a fucking lane and stick with it. You don't get to dip one toe in, and you know what I mean. Um, It's and they want to be marginalized. It's like, oh, but they go on about by erasure. I'm valid. I'm bisexual, and it's like I don't think anyone doubts the existence of you wanting to suck and fuck all these different people. I think people just think it's really like more annoying than the other stuff. I think it's just that we are actually bothered by this. That this is like you're doing this. Um. So that's my thoughts on that. Yeah. I don't know how a guy can be bisexual. I'm gonna be honest with you folks. It doesn't make no damn sense to me how a guy can be bisexual. I can understand being straight, I can understand being gay as a guy. I can't understand being bisexual as a man. That's so far beyond me. I don't know why I feel that way. I mean, I guess it's like um just seems very odd. Like it may for I feel like the default setting for a woman is to be bisexual because it's like a woman. Women are like attracted to men, but then also like women are very attractive, and it's also like the transition. Here's the thing: if you're a straight woman or a woman who's only ever had like male partners your whole life, so you've been getting fucked in your pussy by a man's penis, the transition from that to fucking a woman is actually like more pleasant because now you don't even have to deal with like any real penetration. In fact, the argument could be made that you're not even actually having sex when a woman fucks a woman. It's just a bunch of like mouth and hand stuff. But like as a guy, like if you're a guy who has only ever had like intimate relations with a woman, and then you start like questioning, and you're like, man, maybe I want to fuck a dude. That's like, that's a crazy transition to be like, damn, I think I want to either fuck or get fucked, either fuck a man's ass or get fucked in my ass. That's wild to me, and it like, especially if you're not sure of it. If you're like bi curious, that's got to be a fucking whirlwind experience to actually go through with that and then and be like, damn, actually no, I'm just straight. But I got fucked in my ass, and I feel weird about that. But that's I can understand being gay and just like wanting to get fucked in your ass a bunch, but to really enjoy pussy and doing that, and then also be like, no, I think I want to like fuck dudes too. I'm like, I can't even. This is making it. I don't know if this is making any sense. This makes sense to me. I think. What did you say? Hypersexualized people are a product of Adderall. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's probably something going on with all the psych meds that are out there now. Fucking frying people's brains. Probably, yeah. Medication and technology and information and just like this constant access into like so many people's lives and existences, I think is like really fucking with people's like sexuality and the way in which they approach sex. you know, because I kind of like the old method of talking about sex and having any sort of like discussions about sex, which is don't do it. That is private. That's behind closed doors, and it needs not be discussed in public or with anybody. But now, everybody's so fucking liberated. Everybody's like somehow simultaneously the horniest we've ever been, and also people are having the least amount of sex ever. I guess like, that's what they're saying about the newer generations is like we're not having sex as much to the point where in Japan, Shinzo Abe, the late great Shinzo Abe, had to beg the people of Japan to fuck each other because their population was declining. And it's like, well, I mean, and the Japanese kind of had it figured out. It's like, well, there's no need to fuck when like life is this good. You know what I mean? Like if you look at like what's going on in Tokyo and what it looks like there, it's yeah. I mean, we don't need the pleasures of the flesh when I can go play like a Konami pachinko machine for like 8 hours after work, and enjoy maybe maybe I'm just a gambling addict. Um, yeah, it's a real Sodom and Gomorrah out there these days. Folks, you hear a lot about Sodom. Sodomy, the Sodomites. Is it's got its own word. The Sodom, the word derived from it. You don't hear so much about Gomorrah. You know what I mean? Sodom and Gomorrah both got blown up, but you only ever hear about Sodom and never really Gomorrah. It's mostly a footnote in the annals of history, the annals of herstory. I gotta get this channel to 1,000 subscribers so I can get the fucking super chats. Gomorrah must have been where the bisexuals were. Yes. Yeah. Somebody on one of these asked me about doing the super chats. Somebody's been like, people have been trying to talk me into doing shit like this because I guess like Kevin Brennan does this and makes money doing it. And I don't know what he does. It sounds like he just says mean things to that go viral every now and then. But I can't fucking do anything with this channel until it hits 1,000 subs. I got plenty. I got the watch time. I got like how many hours you need of people actually watching your shit to get the that requirement. But if this is like if this is like a game of like a Final Fantasy thing where I gotta do some like goofy shit to get a fucking weapon that I want. I've completed the one that was easy, and now I gotta race. Now I gotta race a fucking chocobo and somehow get a time of 0 in the race. And it's like, how do you do that? You know what I mean? That was in what was that one? Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X was the one where if you wanted to get the items to properly unlock Titus's ultimate weapon. Well, I forget you had to do one. There was something you had to do, and then the other one was you had to go do a chocobo race in the Calm Lands and get a perfect time of 0 seconds. And the only way to do that was to there were like all these balloons on the track, and you had to like, I think it was like for each red balloon or whatever that you popped, it would shave 3 seconds off your time. So as you're racing, you have to like avoid the obstacles and pop these different balloons. And so that by the time you got to the finish line, you had a perfect time of 0 seconds. And I remember spending fucking hours doing that as a kid, just sinking so much goddamn time into trying to get a 0 second score on this chocobo race. And and I finally got it. And then I finally had the ultimate weapon. I had everybody's ultimate weapons. I had all the summons. I had everything that I ever wanted in Final Fantasy X. And then I finished the game. I beat Jekt and Braska's final Aeon. And then I was filled with a profound sense of emptiness after having spent so much goddamn time on this game. And then beating it with relative ease in the final boss because I was too overpowered. So that's what there's no fucking way I could do that nowadays. Like if I pop in a Final Fantasy game now, that like grinding and maxing and shit, absolutely no fucking way I'm doing that now. Let's see. You can hit 1,000 subs within the next month. Kevin just flames everyone he knows. It's very entertaining. I think I can help you get on the show if you're willing to trash some comics he hates. Who does he hate? Like, I mean, I hold a lot of contempt for a lot of successful people, but is there any? I don't know if there's anyone like I legitimately like really hate. He hates everyone. Yeah, I guess he does. Yeah, I mean, Um, yeah, I don't know. My thought on, like, I saw somebody the other day commenting on this, like, maybe a rumor or whatever, that Whitney Cummings' baby is like Brendan Schaub's, that she's pregnant with Brendan Schaub's kid. And like, I don't like either of those people necessarily, like Whitney or Brendan, but I'm also like, yo, if you're paying any attention to the like actual personal lives of these people, log off. Stop. Like, these are not even interesting people. Like, that's their greatest crime. Like, I've listened to Whitney Cummings and Brendan Schaub talk, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, they're just boring. That, like, it's not even that. Like, just listening to these people, I'm like, yeah, they just like really have nothing to say. There's nothing interesting happening in either of their heads. They have no fun thoughts or interesting ideas. And maybe it comes from being too comfortable or what, but I'm like, yeah, this shit's just boring. Um, I mean, it's honestly the same with like Rogan. Like, if I put on a Rogan podcast, I'm just like, fuck me, dude. This is a drag. This is like, I'm like, this is just not interesting. Um, you know, just having on like a Nobel Prize winning scientist and talking about the fucking stoned ape theory again. I'm like, I'm just like bored. Um, are the titty reviews on TikTok getting any traffic? Yeah, it's the only shit that's working, man. Like the Michelle Obama one got 244 views so far, and that's on a TikTok account with only 142 followers. So um, the one I did for that fat bitch got 305. The Psyche's Wings reaction got 338. I hope she sees it. I hope she's grossed out by it. Uh, yeah. Um, Dude, the Michelle Obama thing is so funny. Like, I posted this and I got like so many people commenting, "Those are pecs, bro." Michael Obama, what shit like that. And it's like, no, I've first off, we've seen black women who look way more masculine than her, who we all agree are still women. So like, she still is a very like feminine woman who just is maybe a little stocky, but she is like, in no way do I buy into this. That's one of the more upsetting conspiracies to me, because it's conspiracy theories, because it's just lazy. It's just grasping at straws. It's just like, okay, like, who? No one likes Obama at this point. He's a fucking war criminal who just fucking mocked the people of Flint, Michigan when he went there and drank water in front of them to prove that their water was okay to drink. Just somebody brought him out a glass of water that they were told was the tap water of Flint, Michigan, and then he drank it. What a fucking prick. So it's like, it's fine if you don't like Obama, but this like conspiracy theory that Michelle Obama is actually a dude, that's crazy to me. Because I mean, we've all seen fucking like Leslie Jones and Monique and like all these other like masculine ass black ladies. Um, and so like, Michelle Obama is definitely more feminine than them. Um, and it's also, people don't have any literacy when it comes to like actually looking at trans women. I've looked at them. I've seen their tits. I've seen their dongs. So I know the physiognomy of a trans woman. And that Michelle Obama is not. She's like a 50-year-old black lady with two kids. That's what they look like. And honestly, she's doing like really well, like in terms of aging and what her body is like, the way her body's held up. Um, yeah, she's muscular. She's out there working the fields. No. Yeah, she's like really into fitness and does like a lot of fucking building muscle and shit. Yeah, I mean, it's just people just don't like the Obamas. Um, no, I'm not saying all trans women look like Thai lady bugs. um, no, there's definitely some that look definitely a lot more like dudes than others, but I've seen some that you would not know are trans until their cock is in your mouth. Uh, would I say she's getting better with age? Like a man? Either like a man or a woman with access to adrenochrome, you know. Maybe that's the conspiracy theories. They got that adrenochrome. They got the adrenochrome from a white baby. Bring us the white baby adrenochrome, the finest white adrenochrome on the market. Yep. Cotton be light though. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, not in huge quantities. It gets heavy, like with anything. You know, a ton of cotton is the same weight as a ton of bricks. You know what I mean? Same weight. Um, that's physics for you. That's Neil deGrasse. Oh, O'Hare is here. I'm here. Start over. Okay, welcome. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. No, I just wanted to do one because I forgot to do this. I've been trying to do these on Sundays, which I'm gonna like try and do until my schedule's gonna change after like a few weeks here. But I've been doing these on Sundays. I forgot to do one this last Sunday, so I wanted to do one. I figure it's good to get into streaming, like to develop this skill set and do streams, because like look at XQC, you know, like he's making money just looking at what did he do recently? Like he was watching footage from Gaza and just being like, damn, this is crazy. Or what does he sound like? He's like, this is chat, this is crazy chat. And then he caught flag for it, for like live reacting to war footage. And so then this is kind of where I started to respect him. Is he caught shit for doing these like live reaction to war footage. And then his response was he posted a picture with him and just like a ton of money, just holding up bricks of cash. I'm like, there we go. Now I like that. Just fucking balling out and be like, yeah, I got paid to watch fucking Gaza get bombed. Yep. Too late for Minecraft. I'm never gonna play that shit anyway. That came out when I was in high school, and even then I was like, I don't fucking want to play this. I don't have like the mind. I don't have the imagination or the creativity for fucking Minecraft. I don't have like whatever that really specific type of autism is that will allow me to do anything in that game. I'm not fucking with that. I'm overwhelmed just looking at what it is. Like I see people playing it, and I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this. Give me here. Give me a game where I got a fucking sword and I can mash the square button to swing the sword around and kill things. That's what I'm playing. I move around with this stick. I mash this button to swing the sword around. I hit pause to go grab another Coke Zero. Okay, that's how I'm playing video games. Is it true I'm Alex Stein's next fight? No. Nope. No. No, I don't have any money. I don't have any way to get there. Any crafting game? Yeah, it sucks. I don't like I don't like games that try to like recreate real world tedium. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to have to like you fucking build anything or do like just tedious monotonous labor. I want to swing swords around and shoot guns, cast spells. You know, I don't want to have to fucking farm. I tried playing that one game, Stardew Valley, and I was like, yo, this is some bitch shit right here. This is for the ladies. Farming, just doing farming and like being sad that your dad is dead or whatever. Yeah, that is like the weird thing about gaming, games like Minecraft is like if you Stream. I guess if you get good enough at playing a game and streaming yourself doing it, you can become unbelievably wealthy somehow. I have no clue how that works. I am not. It may like it makes more sense to me to make money doing like a podcast or something, which like already doesn't make sense. But like that makes more sense than just streaming Minecraft. But I mean, those people are worth so much fucking money. Like and I guess that's like with any streamer. Like, isn't Markiplier is like, isn't his net worth is like $40 million? It's something fucking crazy like that. Meanwhile, and like I've always like talked about how funny it is. Like, meanwhile, the like developers on any of these games just don't see their families for like 8 months while they're making it, and then maybe maybe they make 6 figures a year. Who knows? But they get caught in those crunches to actually make the game, and then they just don't get to see their families, and then they don't even get a Christmas bonus that year. But that's on them for not having the personality to do streaming, because that is like, oh, it's just weird, man. It's weird how if you have like a very specialized talent like that, like just having the personality for the internet or for stand up or whatever, you have a fucking cheat code right there, man. You know what I mean? I notice it doing sales, like like I do sales, and when you like doing phone sales, it's all personality and all communication. And so like when I get a call from a telemarketer or whatever, and it's like some Indian guy who can like barely fucking speak English, calling me about like Medicaid or solar panels, it's like I'm already out, because you don't have a personality, you don't speak the fucking language, you don't know what you're doing. But if it was a strong, confident Christian white man trying to sell me solar panels, okay, I'm listening. And it's the same with this. It's the same with streaming. It's a game of confidence. It's a con job. It's a con game. I am a confidence man, and that's what all of this is. Did anybody watch that? There was an interesting line in that painkiller show on Netflix about the about OxyContin and the Sacklers, where like the Richard Sackler, played by Matthew Broderick in the show, I guess in the show has schizophrenia or something, because he keeps having conversations with his dead uncle, uh, the guy who started like the whole Purdue in empire, and there's the and it's like the Sacklers are like science guys who know how to make all this medication or whatever, but like this uncle was more into like sales and being a salesman, and doing the sales side of things. And so there's like this conversation that Matthew Broderick as Richard Sackler is having with either the apparition of his uncle, or just he's fucking crazy and just having conversations with a guy that's not there. And the uncle says something to him where he's like, the most valuable skill that any man can possess is the ability to convince someone to open their wallet and hand you money. And I've thought about that a lot since I watched that, because it is like, out of anything that anyone can do, that is like the easiest and best way to actually earn a living, is just being a fucking smooth talker, and having like the personality for that sort of thing. I don't know. It's like highly valued, and it's how you make money in this world. Like, you ever watch those like Grant Cardone videos? Like, that guy's a total fucking huckster. He doesn't know how to do anything. He just knows how to like schmooze and smooth talk people. But like, I saw a video of him just bragging about a scam he did. Like, he bought like so what, he's in real estate, so he bought like a bunch of fucking like iPod Nanos when they came out, and uploaded a bunch of his own like real estate investment snake oil pitch like videos on there, on all these different iPod Nanos, and he would just like go to different people and tell them that he had made this thing called a G Pod that was like this device to get good at real estate sales and investing. And it was just a fucking iPod Nano that he had put a bunch of his own videos on. And he was selling it at like a markup because it was like the the key to unlock a successful career in real estate was buying this iPod Nano with all these Grant Cardone videos on it. So he's like bragging about the fact that he's just like selling these nanos at this huge markup because they're gonna help you. They're gonna make your fucking career in real estate. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like these kinds of guys. And the craziest thing is it works. They're all so unbelievably fucking wealthy, and they don't do a goddamn thing. They don't do anything. They exist at this like ethereal stratosphere of like whatever it is they do, where it seems like all they do now is just talk about money and then make money talking about money. It drives me up the fucking wall just thinking about it, because it's like, dude, my entire life I have seen Richard Kiyosaki somewhere. He's just been a thing my entire life, Richard Kiyosaki, and the entire time he has been selling that one fucking book he wrote, that Rich Dad Poor Dad, and like now I'm an adult and I like watch his stuff and kind of can like understand it, and I'm like this guy's entire fucking career is just talking about money. And like maybe he made investing or whatever, but it seems like if you make enough money, eventually you can pivot to a career in which you make even more money talking to other people about money. That'd be nice. I would enjoy if I could have that kind of career where I'm just a guy who talks about money for a living. That'd be nice. But that's crazy that that's an actual business. I mean, that's the Dave Ramsey show. It's like his whole fucking scam, his snake oil is funny to me, because it's like, are you struggling financially? Can't pay the bills? Couldn't get groceries this week? Well, then you need to buy my book in hardcover, $39.95. It's like, okay, so you're talking to people who are absolutely at their fucking on their last leg, like myself, and it's like, hey, just use whatever's left on your credit card. It's basically already maxed out. Okay, go ahead, invest in my book. You'll have that once you read my book. You'll have that credit card paid off in no time. But you do need to spend money on my book. It's like, okay. Boomers do fall for those scams. But I scammed myself by being psychotic. Just blew through every bit of my fucking money, and then even more after that, going in and out of hospitals and just trying not to die. It's pretty dicey, especially now. I'm not going to get too personal. I'm just going to say, please tell people about this show and convince them to give me money, please. Fuck. Yeah, it's not like I deserve anything. I don't deserve anything good. I'm just trying, man. Doing sales, doing streams, TikToks, Patreon. Maybe something good will happen. I don't know. I wanted to see the world. I had dreams. Man. I guess we all do. Maybe not everybody gets to have their dreams come true. You know what I mean? I just want some pussy. Yep. It was a small hiccup in the grand scheme of just keep being you. The perspective was unique. Yeah, I guess so. It's just you have no idea the destruction I've caused, the evil I've done in the throes of my own mental illness, the harm I've done to the people who love and care about me. I'll never talk about that outside of vague references to it. It's something I'm ashamed of that I must atone for which I must atone. I got to get better about grammar. I'm a linguist. That is something I've always been interested in is linguistics. I'm not good at it, but I do find it's like I'm not like a stickler for grammar. Like if I can understand what's being said, then I'm fine with that. But I am on a sentence level very fascinated and get a lot of fulfillment out of syntactic structure, which is that was Noam Chomsky's first publication before he became like a political guy. He was a linguistics guy. So he published this book called Syntactic Structures, which is like the math of language. It's really hard to wrap your head around. So you've given up stand up for good forever. I don't know. No, not necessarily. I just have a lot I got to deal with right now before I can even think about that. Yeah, I'm just like rebuilding my entire fucking life and trying to, also trying to like pay back a lot of organizations and people that helped me stay alive through all of this. It was really bad, man. I've talked about it at length, I suppose, but it was definitely like there was a long stretch of time when it looked like I might not make it, and fortunately I had people in my corner who made sure that I didn't like die or kill myself, and now I just have to, figure that out, I guess. Stranger things have happened. There have been more stranger comebacks, I suppose. It's also a question of values. I think when you're doing something that kind of is causing friction with your own value system, or you don't even know what your values are, and you're surrounded by people or doing things that may not even, as you're discovering your own self, like you realize these things aren't lining up. That can drive you kind of crazy too. That was definitely a factor. People keep asking for like this reunion of the Loud Boys, and it's like I'm cool with Robbie, but like, yeah, I mean the entire most of the time we were doing that show, my entire like relationship with Joe, there wasn't one. I mean, there was not like there wasn't any, like any real friendship or relationship, and I could just like feel the struggle within myself, like the struggle of like realizing like I have to like work with this guy, like this is somebody I'm like considering a creative and business partner, someone who like clearly doesn't respect me and who like our value system just does not line up. Neither do our actual goals for like what each one of us wants for like this show and ourselves. Like, I'm like for me at the end of the day, it's like I want to make some fucking money. I want to actually succeed. And it's like when you're working with somebody who like every step of the way is like undermining you and just taking jabs at you and making you feel like a fucking moron. It's like, hey man, like we can bust balls or whatever, but if you don't like me, you don't like me. Like you don't have to do this. So that definitely contributed, I guess. But also, I mean, it's also like hanging out with all the comedians. It was like I was struggling a lot with my own identity, I suppose, because like, I don't know. I guess it's just thinking about like what do I want? Like what do I actually want to make and contribute to the world? and who do I want to be? You know, um, I guess it's like that tightrope, right, of between irony and sincerity. You know, always either always trying to be funny versus being too sentimental. Like, I don't, you don't want to fall into either one. And it's like I just, I don't know. I kind of had years ago was like getting real tired of this sort of like I ironic detachment from everything that a lot of comedies seem to exist in. This like realm of like just being completely yeah, detached in some way, and I found myself like looking for something more sincere, I suppose, but then not, also not wanting to go too far down that dark road and end up like crying about my mental illness like fucking Chris Gethard. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. That like post ironic, always doing shtick. Oh no! Yikes! It was annoying, and it's definitely exhausting to like, yeah, it's exhausting to interact with someone who is like trying to always be on, but also without possessing like the actual talent to do so. I imagine it would be exhausting to hang out with Robin Williams, but it would at least be fun. Like hanging out with Joe, it's like, no, I'm just like really fucking tired right now. This is a lot of shtick. We're doing a lot of shtick right now. And you're being really loud in this restaurant. There's other people here. Like, we get it. You're funny. We get it. You're 4'10". We get it. Yeah, I mean, it made for a fun podcast, but it was like we didn't have like the thing is like we got a lot of comparisons to like Cumtown, but we didn't have the camaraderie there because like I think each of us were dealing with like our own insecurities and there was no like real cohesion between us in the way that there was with those guys. Um, like I don't know. I think you were somewhat gaslit into thinking you were more crazy than you actually were. Nah, I mean, you didn't see the full scope of it. It was really bad. It was like life threatening. It was bad, and it like call it was a I had to, if I had any chance of actually staying alive, I had to like get out of this like that situation at any cost, and it cost a lot, but I'm alive, so there's like always room for a second chance. And it's like I'm fucking talented, like people love me. I'm adorable. So I'll bounce back and reclaim my empire and dividends. Um, oh yeah, before I cracked, the time leading up to it. Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. A prophet is always rebuked in his time. It's like I knew that like my approach to everything was a little bit different than everybody else's. Um, and so like I think it was definitely like what the way I was like approaching stand up and podcasting or whatever. I think was just like making other people uncomfortable that I was working with. Like I don't know, and so like to inject that sort of like sincerity into these like constant riff sessions, I think makes people uncomfortable, and they just want to like write it off as like crazy or whatever, or they want to dismiss it or condemn it in some way. Like I don't know, because yeah, I mean that whole like New York comedy scene is definitely I think it's echoes of Tough Crowd. I think it's everybody. I've described it as like everybody's just trying to like out Patrice each other, and it's like, well, he's dead, and also he was a jackass. Like as funniest guy who ever lived. Also a miserable fucking prick who most people didn't like. So why is everybody trying to emulate this? You know what I mean? Like all that talk of like that fucking table at the Comedy Cellar and like everybody's roasting each other and breaking balls and being mean to one another. I'm like, yeah, I mean that can be fun, but also like we don't have to do this. I mean that show hasn't been on in fucking 20 years, and there's also like no reason to constantly be doing this. It comes off desperate to me. Like you're so desperate and insecure in revealing any sort of like sincerity or vulnerability that it has to be this constant like rapid fire ball breaking roast riff session. And so when someone comes in who genuinely wants to have a serious discussion about Kingdom Hearts, they don't like that. They think that's gay. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it was like never meant for me. Like I like that whole world, like stand up and all that. Like I'm on to different things, and I'll return to it when I do in my own way. But yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird world, man, and it's very materialistic, you know. It's yeah, because you got to think, if you're getting, I think like any pursuit of art or entertainment or creativity is this like weird investment of time and energy, and in saying like I'm okay not succeeding at this and not making any money doing this, and actually spending a lot of money to do it, so that when it does finally hit, when this finally takes off, I'll, make all that money back and then some, because this is like a highly valued, specialized talent. And so I think like when people who have like circumnavigated the grind of like just having to actually work a real job, and now they're like making tons and tons of money doing this like kind of like fraudulent fucking thing to begin with, it can be easy to fall into this like very like materialistic existence, very like I mean we've seen it happen with all. I mean that's probably like the why somebody like Kevin Brennan or Red Bar or whatever dislikes a lot of these people is like their perspective on everything. Their lives are so based in like the material world, um and it is a very shallow surface level existences seemingly. I don't know, man. That I mean, hadn't that always been the thing with people in entertainment, celebrities and whatever, is that it's very shallow and there's not a lot of depth there. And if you want depth, go talk to a novelist who can't pay his fucking bills because nobody wants to buy that shit. Yeah. Yeah, Colin Quinn is the man. Like he could definitely roast and bust balls, but dude, I love the way he does stand up. Like it is very sincere, and he approaches it from this like point of view of almost like he's a fucking like college professor, like the funniest professor at the college he works at. Yeah, he's the man. He rocks. I saw him. I went to it was like the Hunter College, some theater they got there. I forget who it's named after, but they got a really like intimate theater there, and he was taping that special he did with CNN, and I went to that, and I had such a fucking good time at that. He's such a fun dude to be in the room with, watching him do stand up. Yeah, he's the man. He said, would you say, I know I'm alone in this, but I find Patrice extremely overrated. Yes, he was quite funny, but a lot of it was women be shopping horse shit. And I say this as a notorious misogynist. Yeah. I mean, who knows? It's I think it's definitely. I think a lot of the reverence people have for him might be due to the fact that he died young and in such a tragic way. I think people give that a lot of credence and might look back on his work with, the Colin Quinn special. Yeah, it was called Red State, Blue State. It was really good. I loved being there for it. I was really fucked up on Kratom at the time. But yeah, the Patrice thing is like, yeah, it's hard to tell because like, the second that somebody like that dies, they almost have like this martyrdom aspect to them where their entire body of work is looked upon so fondly. But there's definitely like moments that I've like watched of him that I am like put off by, that I'm like, oh, he's just absolutely just being fucking mean here. Like there's nothing redeeming about this. And I remember there were like women who would tell me, like women in comedy who knew him, who would tell me stories about like the shit that he said to them, and they would tell me these things and be laughing about it, and like looking back on it fondly, I'm like, man, it sounds like somebody just said a really fucking nasty thing to you, and she's like, no, it's like one of the greatest comedians of all time, roasting me. It's like a sign of respect, and I'm like, there's nothing about what you just told me sounds like he respected you at all. It's like it sounds like this guy really fucking despised you. It was like crazy the effect that I guess like celebrity or like the reverence people have for him, the effect that has on like people that did cross paths with him, who in their interactions with him, I like, based on the stories that I was told, he made it known he did not fucking like these people or respect them, but they're just like giggling about it, like, oh no, it was so, what an honor to be roasted. And I'm like, that's not a roast. That's not like a colleague breaking your balls. That's a guy absolutely trying to like destroy you. So, yeah, I don't know, man. There's no sacred cows in my book. Fuck them. No sacred gorillas. Oh, come on now. I shouldn't say stuff like that. What time is it? It's late. Well, does anybody have anything they want to talk about before we get out of here? I need to, I guess I should wrap this up soon. We've been doing 2 hours. I mean, everybody just be sure to check out all 7 of the people that are in here. This is how you know how fucking good I am at this. I've been talking and streaming and jiving as if I had this massive Kai Sanat level audience. 7 of you, intimate. It's just us. It's just the fellas. It's just the gang right now. But if I'm this good already, fucking wait. Just you fucking wait and see when we got millions looking upon mine visage through the shitty webcam built into this computer. Which honestly, I don't think we need high def on this face right now. I look like dog shit. You guys want to get out on a news story? Al Jazeera. Let's see. U.S. House votes to censure Rashida Tlaib over Israel-Hamas war comments. Nope. Russia-Ukraine war. Nope. Old news. Boo. Beat it, dork. U.S. says doesn't support Israel occupation of Gaza. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually tired of hearing about all this. I'm over it. Yes, I do have a diverse audience with you here. Yeah, I guess the whole Gaza. It's just this is all anyone's talking about is the Gaza thing. Man, I tell you what though, shout out to the fucking uh, highly effective propaganda of Israel on the American Jews, because the people I know that are Jewish who have like done the birthright thing and have like this attachment to Israel are fucking whole cloth Zionists and like fully support whatever Israel's doing. Like, dude, it's like I'm looking at some of these ladies, these like Jewish broads who've done birthright and are like into that and all that, and they are bloodthirsty right now for the blood of Palestinians, dude. And like weirdly convinced that some like that they're trying to like rant like get be that there's some force or organization or collective that's like trying to round them up again, that like there's going to be another Holocaust. Like they absolutely believe that something is going to happen where they're like an attempt is going to be made to round them up and do that and do another Holocaust. And I'm like, where are you getting this from? Like I don't even understand like how you're like taking what's going like this like one conflict, this one situation happening in like this strip of land in the Middle East, and extrapolating from that this like idea that somehow if Palestine isn't turned to glass, then they're going to come for the entire diaspora, the entire Jewish diaspora. Like, oh, really? So they're going to fucking put Larry David. They're going to grab Larry David and Seinfeld, and all the Jews are going to get fucking rounded up. That's crazy. That's an insane thing to think based on like what's going on. That they want the like. And by the way, it wasn't even like the world didn't even want it when it first happened. That was like some shit that was happening in Europe at the time, that I think a lot of the world was just like, hey, I don't want to get involved with this shit. And then it just became too much of a fucking problem for everybody. But it wasn't like there was this concerted effort being made by the entire global population to exterminate the Jewish people. It was like, no, it was like this one government that was like gaining too much power and influence, that like the world had to come together to stop from doing this. But I think like most people, like a lot of the world objected to what was happening. It was, I don't know. I'm not Jewish, so whatever. Yeah, and you're right. That paranoia is definitely passed down. Just yeah. I mean that's why like every Jewish person you ever meet is just constantly like anxious and shaking, because their entire lives have been just been like old Jews, what screaming at them that someday somebody's coming for them. They're gonna come for them again. And it's also like, hey, by the way, you weren't the only ones. Like you got the most attention, but it was also like gypsies and queers, and it was like a whole diverse cast of characters that were being rounded up. You just happened to be like the main target of that, but it was also just like everyone that didn't fall in line like with what the Third Reich deemed acceptable in terms of like, I don't know, genetics and ethnicity. But I mean, look, what Chairman Mao is responsible for the deaths of like hundreds of millions of Chinese people. You don't see Chinese people, claiming that they're gonna come and round them up for not adhering to the fucking CCCP party line. No, they're just outside squatting, smoking cigarettes, having a good time, man. Gambling, playing Pai Gow, losing their fucking house in a game of Pai Gow. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I guess I will end with this, because this is something. This might have been the best thing I've ever done comedically. We got like 4 people in here. I'm sure many of you are familiar. God, I wish I could do a TikTok rack reaction on this lady. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Sabrina Piper. Big Jewish boobs on this one. She's very Jewish. I think she actually works for Birthright. And I did a roast battle with her like maybe like 3 years ago now. I don't know. Pre-pandemic. And I just wrote all Jew jokes about her, and the only one I can remember, like my favorite one that I wrote that like got the best reaction. I destroyed her in this roast battle. But the joke I wrote that I'm most proud of from that was Sabrina works for Birthright, which is the Israeli organization that flies American Jews, young American Jews, to Israel for free to teach them about the greatest threat facing Jewish people today: Palestinian children. And I'm proud of that one. And you know what? What a prophetic joke that was. Because Sabrina has been going off on Instagram about this shit. I think I saw something she posted today that said, like, fuck your protest. So, yeah, there you go. And that's not, look, I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-Zionist. Okay, there's a difference. Did the joke kill? Yes, it did very well in the room. And I think that was like equal part, like due in part to the fact that it's a decent joke, and then also at that point that I told it, I had told so many Jew jokes that the audience just thought it was hilarious that every joke was a Jew joke. I think every joke started with me going, "Yeah, Sabrina's Jewish," and so like that was like a joke in itself. Was just that every joke started with me going, "Well, you know, folks, Sabrina's a Jew," so yeah, I was pretty good at doing a thing I didn't enjoy, which is roast battles. I fucking hate them. Never enjoyed doing them, and always thought it was like really lame roast battles. But I would do them anyway because I was desperate for attention and stage time. And a lot of fucking good that did me, didn't it? Anyway, we've done a good 2 hours here. There's 3 people left in this, but I'm sure people will watch the recording when it's it should already be up there. Anyway, tell everyone about the podcast and TikTok at Dalton Pruitt, Patreon. Please help because I am going to die if this doesn't work. Okay. I love you. Good night. Sweet dreams. Bye bye.